Hello, my name is Matthew. I am here in the boot room at the barracks at Nebian, which is about 3 kilometres away from Longyearbyen, where I'm studying and researching. We're on the island of Spitsbergen in the Svalbard archipelago. I'm going to talk to you today about the boots that I'm using while I'm here. These are the first ones I'm going to talk to you about. These are my Canadian boots. The Canadians love these. These are in the 14th generation, I think, so they've been honed down to a fine example of the technology, and I like them a lot. They're fantastically light. They have 200 grams of insulation in them, and they use the reflected radiated heat from the feet using the metal foil to keep feet warm. They're described as being waterproof, and the reviews online suggest that they actually are fully waterproof, unlike some manufacturers which are not entirely waterproof because of the seams not being properly taped. So yes, I like these a lot. They're great when you're walking around. They feel incredibly comfortable on the feet. They lace up nice and tightly. They've got plenty of space in them. But as soon as you stop moving, then the circulation in your feet reduces, and when your feet start to get cold, they don't radiate enough heat to keep your feet warm. So once they get cold, they stay cold, which means that I can only use these for hiking for maybe an hour and a half, after which point then my feet become too cold for me to use. As soon as I've done a couple of stops, then I'll lose too much heat. I suspect that the insulation isn't sufficient in the toes, because my toes definitely get too cold. After an hour and a half, the rest of my foot is perfectly warm. The ankles are perfectly warm, but the toes themselves get cold. Solution to this, maybe if there was more insulation, maybe if there was extra insulation in the toes, maybe if you had a bigger shoe so that you could move your feet around to maintain the circulation when you stop walking, that would improve the boot. I've tried to boost the soles. I've left the original insoles in. They're quite good, but not good enough when you stood on ice or stood on snow, and you lose temperature through the sole of the foot quite quickly. So what I've done is I've put an insole in there. It's an insole made on a farm in England, for an alpaca farm. You can see from the shape of it that it's got deformed. The heel has worn a hole in it here. And that's because although the fibre itself is very insulating and very durable, there's not enough of it in the insole. To compare that to another insole that I use in other shoes, this has not been deformed at all. It still looks perfectly new, and it's much thicker and much stronger as a result of being thicker. So the full wool insoles, I like those a lot. Anything else I should mention? Yes, you can use ice spikes on these, not full crampons, but ice spikes. And those have allowed me to walk in ice caves on sheet ice and around town here when there's ice, and also on glaciers as well, where I get enough grip from those. So these are a great all-round boot. They'll be fantastic when the snow starts melting in the spring because of the waterproofness, and it'll be slightly warmer then, so I won't need to worry so much. But at -20, I struggle with these, which is why I'm going to show you the boots that I have for extreme cold weather.